Hi guys, Jay Smith here. Welcome to part 2 of the video between the i525, i230 and i59. This is the forgiveness part where we test how the golf clubs get on when it comes to hitting off the toe, the heel, high, low and all those nasty places where you really shouldn't hit them, but we do. If you haven't seen part 1, there's a little card up the top there. Go click on that one because that will then take you straight to there. So we look at the looks, feel and performance of the irons. But this one is the forgiveness side, so let's crack on and see how they got on. To the all-important forgiveness side of the video, where we look at how good the i59, the i230 and the i525 are when you don't quite catch it and you do hit it out the toe and you do hit it low and you do hit it out the heel and stuff like that. So, right, let's go to i525 first. Let's do all the ball data, then the club head data to make sure I'm not cheating. And then we'll go into the fun bits where we see when you hit them out the toe and out the heel and stuff like that, how well they do. So, i525 to start with. Ball data. Average of ball speed 115.1, launching at 19.6 on average. Total spin is 5,333, 5.3 spin. Remember, this is a 30.5 degree 7-iron, so it is not a traditionally lofted 7-iron, so there will be a reduction of spin because of the loft change. You're looking at descent angles of 46.6 because she's going 32 yards in the air. Offline 1.5 yards, and the important carry of 166 on average. Again, when it comes to total, you've got 179, but that's just relevant to how much it bounce and rolls. And if you hit the fairway or hit the green, and what your descent angles are, and what your peak heights are, etc. So let's go over to the i230, an average of 114.1 miles an hour, 20.5 degrees of loft, so launching fractionally higher, but it will do because it has slightly more loft. Spinning at 6.2 or 6.163. So because of the added loft that the i230 has got over the i525, you're going to see a slight increase in loft. Now it's a 33 degree 7-iron, so it is getting closer to a traditionally lofted 7-iron. And remember, I suppose, if you want to go back far enough, you can remember when 7-irons were 34, 35, 36 or even 37 degrees and how times have changed. It's going peak height 34 yards in the air and descending at 48.1 degrees. Remember, anything that goes into a green at 45 degrees or more is stopping on nearly any green unless it's made out of a runway. So anything at 48.1 degrees is great at stopping on anything. And a carry average of 160 yards. Let's go to i59, 113.4. Again, slight reduction in ball speed because of loft possibly. Launching at 21.1, so slightly more. Spinning at 6,177, so fractionally more than i230, but fractionally. We're going up at 34 yards in the air and descending at 48.5 degrees and carrying at 159, so 1 yard short of the i230, but it has got 1 degree more loft. Anyway, so let's go have a look at the i525 and all the other ones club head data to see that I'm effectively not cheating. On average, you can see at 87 miles an hour, our efficiency at 1.32. Attack angle 3.8 degrees down. Club path and face to path is very close to 0.0 on average. Loft is 25.9 degrees and face impact on average is 2 mil toe, 1 mil low. Now, tackle one thing very quickly because people do get confused about this a little bit. I keep standard deviation numbers underneath there, and I can go into standard deviation, but it would bore the pants off so many people. But for the people who know about standard deviation and it does matter, I leave the information on there so people can see that yes, they're my averages of, say, net strike, but that can be made up of a myriad of different strikes which could artificially mess the data up. And that's true. So I leave standard deviation on there so people can see if there is a distinct difference between two golf clubs in strike forgiveness. If I'm hitting one of them much averagely better than another one, well, that's not fair. So that's why I leave standard deviation on there, so you guys can critique it and critique me. Now, we are looking for a distinct difference in standard deviation. We're not looking at a very small difference in standard deviation that would make a massive difference. So yeah, before the comment warriors get on there, understand standard deviation is one thing, being overly picky about certain things when it comes to minute differences in standard deviation is another. So Let's go to i230. On average, 87.2 miles an hour, 1.31 when it comes to efficiency. 3.5 degrees attack angle, 0.7 across, 0.7 open, so again 0-0. Loft of 28.4 degrees delivered, and 1 mil toe, 3 mil low on average is my face impact. We'll go over to i59, 87.7 miles an hour, so slightly faster. 1.29 efficiency, 3.5 degrees down. 0.2, 0.1 on the face to path, and path is such a small amount. And 29.4 degrees of dynamic loft with a 2 mil toe, 3 mil low strike. There you go. And I, of course, there is standard deviation if you want to go crazy at it. You can see that I've hit loads and loads of shots. I've hit so many shots they've scrolled through, and I've hit a lot of good shots, but then the occasional iffy one, and they're the ones I'm trying to test, so you don't necessarily skew the averages and skew the standard deviation too much. So if you go by the ball compare and the club compare screen, we'll go ball compare screen first. You can see there the differences and the similarities between everything. What I mean by the differences is because of flight, and then the dispersion rings that you see there. Again, dispersion is mainly me when it comes to left and right. But then when it comes to front and back, forgiveness does play its part. And then you can also see by the club head data there, you can see strike is very, very similar. And then the differences and everything else is either very, very similar or slightly off, depending on me. I am a human being, and I try my hardest to do my best as I can do to deliver the same on every single one. But I am a human, and there's going to be minute differences. So let's go straight on to the forgiveness side, where we start hitting all these golf clubs from interesting past the face. So from an amateur's point of view, it's important to see just how well these will work when you don't quite catch it. If you're looking at i525 first, you're looking at a club head speed of 85 miles an hour, a 0.5 par from the inside, and a 1.9 degree closed. 1 mil low, 14 mil heel. Now that is distinctly heely. And considering the average carry was 160 yards, this is carried at 160 yards. It's lost 6 yards from average carry. From a 14 mil heel, that is mentally good. Most golf clubs do not, I repeat, do not like heel strikes ever. Just the design of the golf club, in the fact that it hasn't got very much room in trampoline effect on the heel, because obviously the golf club slants down towards the hosel. The fact that the heel is travelling distinctly slower than the, say, toe or the middle, or definitely the toe, because of the rotational factor when it comes to the golf club coming into impact. It's just the worst place you can hit low heel is, but you know, it's just not good, and it's lost 6 yards. It's done very well indeed. Next one, 87.6 miles an hour, path of 0.0, and then face closed by 0.5, so a baby little draw normally. 10 mil low, 2 mil toe. It's the 10 mil low part. Now, no golf club again likes being hit off the bottom, and on a February cold morning I wouldn't be hitting half an inch nearly off the bottom, because that will fuzz the old phalanges and it won't feel very nice. But it's lost some distance, yes it has lost 8 yards or so, and I'm not surprised over a 10 mil low, because again, not many golf clubs like or perform very well off of low strikes, but it's done okay. Remember, it's a hollow head design, and if you're hitting that low, you're not getting the full usage of the hollow head. 87.1 miles an hour, so slightly faster. Or on that one from the 85, 87.6 and 87.1, so yeah. 2.2 from the inside, 0.8 close, so normally a little baby draw, but I've hit it 7 mil low and 6 mil toe, so it's interesting to see, have I lost any distance? 1 yard, but it's more to see there that I've delivered a little baby draw dynamics of delivery, but because of lie angle, and then also because of the slight low toe strike, it has taken that tilt axis off the golf ball, and so again, it's missed 5.5 yards right, so it's not by any means a poor shot. But you can just see there the difference between lie angle and then also strike point, how that can affect your normal shot shape. And if you're moving in your strike and you do play a distinctive shot, whether that be a fade or draw, strike pattern can make a distinct difference to that, so just bear that in mind. When it comes to the last one for the i525, 1.7 across, 1.1 closed. This is the inability for me to align myself to target correctly. 4 mil high, 17 mil toe. So I've told the golf ball to go 8.7 yards left anyway because I can't aim straight. But when I hit it 17 mil toe, you'd be forgiven for that one missing right, because obviously when you pump something out 17 mil towards the toe, you have got the potential there for a distinct amount of face twist. But it's held its line, it's done a blooming good job. It has lost 3 yards off of average from that strike. Well done. 525. I just need to aim better. i230, 88.1 miles an hour clubhead speed, 0.8 across, 0.4 close, so little baby left one. 0 mil low, 10 mil heel. Generally speaking, again, we'll go into it. Golf clubs do not like heel. However, this has gone 161 carry. Remember from the previous screen, the average carry for i230 was 160, so that's gone 1 yard more from a 10 mil heel. These golf clubs have got tungsten in the tip of the shaft and also on the toe end of the head, and it does very well. The i230 is an exceptionally good golf club. Next one for the i230, 1.1 from the inside, 0.2 open, 10 mil low, 3 mil toe, and again 161. So it's done 1 yard more on its average from that strike. 10 mil low. And where the 525 didn't like it, because of the more solid construction of the i230, it's generally fine. Okay, it has lost a little bit of ball speed, but hasn't been affected as much as the i525, so that's an interesting one. i230, 0.4 from the inside, 0.0 face, so bang on within reason. 7 mil low, 10 mil heel. The 10 mil heel works, but then when you add it to a 7 mil low, again, the worst place you can hit well, actually I'm missing it, I suppose, but the worst place generally you can hit a normalized shot on a golf club face is low heel, and it has lost 6 yards because of it. That's it. And that is not a very good strike. Last one for the i230, and it's another example of how I can't align myself to target properly. 1.4 across, but 3.1 closed. That was me. 2 mil high, 17 mil toe, so very much so like the i525. 17 mil toe. That's gone 156, so that's lost 4 yards off of its average from that strike. Well done, i230. So we'll go to i59 now, and we'll go straight over to an 88 mile an hour clubhead speed, and then a complete misunderstanding of how I know how to align myself. I don't know how I keep doing this. I need to aim a bit more to the right. 2.1 across and 0.6 close, so just basically 100% my alignment. 10 mil low, 2 mil heel, and it's carried 155. And remember, if I remember properly, the average for an i59 was 159, so it has lost 4 yards from its average because of the 10 mil low, and of course ball speed of 111 has dropped a few, or 3 or 4 miles an hour on average because of that strike. Here we go. 86.8 miles an hour, 1 across, 0.8 open, very small fade delivery, tiny small fade delivery, but when you add 14 low, 10 mil heel, that has gone way past. That has finally gone past any form of forgiveness that the i59 can deliver. It's just too much for the little chassis to handle. 14 mil low, 10 mil heel is a massive miss hit, and of course, yes, you see the distance drop. You've got straight away 16 yards or so in carry dropped. Ball speed's gone through the floor. It's just not very good. And so if you're going to be an individual who's anywhere close to anything like that, then I would be looking at definitely G range, and also something like the i525. But the i230 is doing very, very well considering also. But yeah, the i59, it's not good off of that strike, but I'm not surprised because that was horrendous. My poor fingers hurt after that one. Back to normal though, we have got a 87.5 miles an hour clubhead speed and a path of 0.0, face of 1.9 close, so it's going to miss baby left, 8 mil low, 10 mil toe, and 158. So it's the low heels that it doesn't like, but that's no surprise. Go to an 8mm low, 10mm toe, and it does very well again, and it's lost 1 yard off its average. So as long as you stay away from low heel, you should be generally okay. So clubhead speed of 85.9, so fractionally slower. 0.2 from the inside, 0.6 closed, 1mm high, 14mm toe, so it's getting similar to the 17mm toe that we hit with the i525 and the i230 as well, but she has dropped a bit more distance, so of that 14mm toe. It's gone to 153, which is a good 6 yards, which is only 6 yards, it is, but the strike wasn't as bad as the i525 and also the i230 at 17mm, and they both done really, really well. So you're seeing the difference now between where the i59 cannot help within all that Alumicore and everything else like that. It's just too small a chassis for you to move that far off the middle and for it to be as forgiving as its slightly bigger brother or brothers in the i230 and of course the i525. So I mean, I wouldn't say the i59 is a bad iron at all. It is not. It's a lovely looking, relatively small, and it is relatively small, player's iron. It has technology inside with the Alumicore, which does help in certain aspects of forgiveness, definitely. But there are limits at the i59, and we've tested them, and we can see the distinct limits when you put the same limits over to an i525 and i230. They work again, and it's because it's a different construction of the head and it's different technology. i525 is a little bit suspect off low strikes because you're not utilising the hollow head part of it because it's just too low on the face, where the i230 likes them, or say likes them. No golf club likes being mishit, but you know what I mean. So the surprise one on here is i230, of just how good it is. The i525 is, as we start going more and more into it, the difference between a G425, a G range, and an i525 is relatively small, and I'm saying actually quite small. If when it comes to the difference in cost, yes, there is a distinct difference in cost between a G and an i525, so that has to be balanced in. But if you look at the longevity of having a set of custom fit golf clubs, if you try and make the decision over doing something over a certain period of time, you can definitely justify looking at actually getting a set of i525s, because as you get better, these things will get better as you get better. And I'd be interested to see what the G430 is like, because the G430 really has to be a step up over the G425. If not, the i525 is still shining through. But my personal pick of the lot is the i230 with the activated elastomer. And the more they put activated elastomer in, the nicer, the duller, the more muted it sounds, the better. It's forgiving, it looks really nice, it's not as ridiculously expensive. I say that ridiculously, well, what is ridiculously expensive, that's very subjective to the individual, but than the i59 and Blueprint. It's just my all-rounder, for me, best iron that Ping make. When it comes to sound, you guys, that is different for what you like. Now, some people like an explosive noise. Well, i525 definitely will give that more of a punch, and I can really see why people would then move into something like an i525 in the long irons. Definitely, absolutely, because it's confidence inspiring. It's slightly bigger. It's got that really kind of fun trampoline bounce off the face when you hit something. It just really comes off, it rockets off the face, which is really quite fun. But in the end, definitely in long irons, I can really see why people would blend it and then go into something like an i230 in the scoring irons, etc. So anyway, comment below, what do you think about these set of irons? What would you necessarily think about having, and why? While you're down there, there's a little like button, thumbs up, that one over there. If you could do that one, click that. YouTube likes it, so do I. Next to it is a little red subscribe button. If you can click that, that'd be great, because it is free, and you get to see content or more content like this. And next to it is a little bell icon. Now, a little bell icon is an important icon. Get that bell on, because that will let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.